Hello, hello.
Hey guys.
Welcome back. Welcome back to my podcast. I am here today. This is your host, man. It's kind of like it's still summer. Look at my glass. Can you see them? They're
I can
like
see them. The fog.
it's
Damn.
just summer. It's just summer. It's just hot in here. Like I guess I'm you remember that from the night
No, I don't, actually.
we are dating ourselves. Like I'm a 90s baby.
I was born in 2004.
Okay, I'm with minors right now, so I need to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that what you tell your 401k that you were born in 2004?
My 401k, LOL. Imagine.
So, welcome back. Welcome back. And thank you so much for joining. Today we're going to talk about unconventional decisions, unconventional careers that we decided to take at our big age.
Yep. Agreed.
Coming from a Caribbean background. First gen
Mm-hmm.
immigrant background. So I'm the immigrant. So I'm breaking the barriers. So but you've been here. So you're not new to this.
Mm-mm.
Not that we were forced to. We were just talking about this that we were not forced to pick our careers. I was not by all means forced to pick my career. Actually decided I'm the first one out of 8 to get a degree, to get a
Mm-hmm.
college degree. And I'm number 6. So I'm the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
I was never told like you had to take this, be a doctor, be an engineer, be I just decided that I like money and I decided to go with engineer because I didn't like people.
Honestly, I actually wish I did what you did.
I mean, it's never too late.
I mean, not in terms of because I had two career switches essentially. Like I was told to be a doctor. Slash, I kind of did want to be a doctor, or I thought I did. Mostly because I don't know if you ever heard of this show called House.
Yes.
Okay, I used to watch House in high school. I used to love that show. I was obsessed with that show. So I was like, "Oh, this is what being a doctor is like. It's like figuring out it's like being a detective like but like science. That's not what it's like, by the way.
It's not
But
it's not.
it's
It's
not
not.
that it's not like that and you also like can't be a drug addict, which is not something that I'm looking to be necessarily, but like, yeah,
Side
anyway.
note, side note. But
Exactly,
before we get
exactly.
started, before you get started, let me introduce you to my co-host, Taylor.
Hello. I was like, is there a co-host
I,
here? Hey guys, my
is
name
that
is
you? That's you.
Taylor.
I mean, do you want me to introduce you?
That's you can introduce me. I don't whatever works
No, you
best.
can
I don't know
introduce
what your
yourself.
process.
Go ahead, girl.
My
Go
name
ahead,
is
girl.
Taylor. Am ew. Like, what do I say? Like, damn. Okay, What's relevant to this podcast? Like, what kind
Yeah.
of things should I say
What
about
what
myself?
would you like to promote? Like, you could promote your TikTok. You're very famous on TikTok.
I'm not famous on TikTok, guys. I
You
have about
are
fifteen
famous.
thousand
She
followers.
is. She's low
Um,
key like 30,000 followers. So like whole
15,000.
Harlem, whole Bronx knows
I
her.
I have 15,000 followers, and most of them are probably not in New York, which I do prefer. Yeah, TikTok is something that I want to get back into eventually. Not right now though, definitely. So I'm on TikTok. My handle is at Tay Deadass. What else?
That ass, that ass,
Deadass.
that ass. You will
Deadass.
have, but here's the thing. Like, I love to work. I love to play around with like animations and stuff. So you will have
Mhm.
your handle right there. So I got you, boo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Listen,
Yeah, so what else? I got laid off last year for like I
congratulations.
know it was literally the best thing that's ever happened to me. I was like, what the heck? And I was jobless for almost a year. It was honestly highly recommend taking a sabbatical. Now, in the end, if you don't got your savings right, it could get stressful. So if save or else you will be stressed. But
I feel like this podcast is gonna be like 3-part podcast. We'll see where we go on the first
we'll see where we
episode,
go.
but we
Exactly.
have so much to unpack.
Yeah.
First of all, first generation traditional careers, but we want to do our own thing.
Yep.
Hence, you trying to do comedy, I'm trying to do this. Hello. So get away from corporate America because like this life's too short to just like be stuck in an office in a 9 to 5, even though being your own boss means you're working 24/7.
No, it does. And so I'm like, I was actually talking to my therapist today because I have a work from home job.
Shout out to therapy.
Shout
If
out to
you have
therapy.
not scheduled your therapy appointment, please, this is your sign to please
Mhm.
schedule your therapy appointment. Please
Schedule
let
your
us know what
appointment.
your therapy enlightened you with.
Well, I was talking because I was just like, I remember. So, did I tell you that there was a time where I applied for Meta and I passed the final round and I was gonna like consider working there, right? And
No?
this was in 2022, right? And this was right as they were doing a hiring freeze, and then right after I passed the final loop, they started doing the mass
I
layoffs,
feel like
right?
I feel like we're all living like the same life. When I used
Mhm.
to work at my toxic job that we
Mhm.
will shall not
Okay,
name,
we
because
shall
you know
not
which one
name.
that was,
I know
we
which
shall not
one.
name it, because
Mhm. Yikes.
let me
That guy
just
is LOL.
so when I was working at that job, I also reached out to Meta, and I
Mhm.
was like full speed, like first interview with the recruiter. They told me the salary. I was like, hallelujah, amen.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, it was. I was gonna stay in the same area that I was living in, the Bay Area, and I'm like,
Yep.
sounds good to me. More money,
Exactly. Yep.
something that I would enjoy with Meta stocks that are right now.
Mhm.
At that time, stocks were like 200. Right now,
Don't even.
Meta
I didn't
stocks
even
are
want to know. Don't even want to know. Honestly, I'm like, I
Meta stocks are high. I'm just gonna
meta
say that.
stocks.
Like, there's like
They're high.
to the
Okay, and
moon, to the
I
moon.
was like, I'm gonna be making so much money. Like my life is gonna be so different. Well, sort of, because I was gonna save, right? A lot of it. Whatever the case may be. Didn't work out. Then I got laid off. Then I ended up finding actually no, I ended up reapplying to Meta, but they didn't have any jobs for people that didn't have backgrounds in AI, right?
Hmm.
So my recruiter was like, "Well, you passed the final loop, so you should apply again and like and go through. You wouldn't have to do the whole thing over again." And yesterday I was like, "Fuck it, I should just like reach out to her because I've been looking at jobs, but I recently started a new job and I was like, this job, like I don't know, like my peers, I don't know, like I don't know if it's like challenging me enough, right? Like because
Hmm.
I'm kind of doing the same thing I did in my last job, and I don't necessarily
But with
feel
more
like
money.
no,
Oh no.
no. This job
Uh,
I'm taking,
No, 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 no. I'm saying the Meta job was gonna be with more money.
yes, but I'm talking about my job now. So the problem was that I was thinking about my current job, and I was like, I don't know if this job is challenging me in a way that like it is going to put me in a better place next year, right? And like what I don't want to do is keep myself back and put myself in a position where I'm less marketable to companies like Meta, to companies like whatever, right? So I was like, fuck it, let me just apply now. What I was talking to my therapist about is like, she was like, well, don't like you can also take advantage of the fact that you're not necessarily stressed and you're not in an office anywhere. You have a lot more free time because I have a lot of free time, okay?
Let's not
Because
say that to the current employer. I hope they don't watch this episode.
well, guess what I'm gonna do if I ever share this. I'm gonna block them from my story so that they can't see that I shared
Again,
it, you know.
we do not see eye to eye, because I have one from my current job. Actually, let me rephrase that. I have no one on social media from my current teammates.
Hmm.
They do not, don't play that game.
Normally I don't play that game. Normally I don't play that game, but that's another thing. I'm just like, this place is so lax. It's almost too lax for me, and I'm very lax. I am very
Oh,
lax. So I'm like, if I'm the one asking for structure, that's crazy. But whatever. My therapist was like, listen, you don't you wouldn't never if you worked at Meta, you probably wouldn't have time to write a script in during the workday. You probably wouldn't,
so
you
I
know.
think I feel like I interrupt you from your intro, and I'm so sorry, because my brain works like this. Like, I have a
Oh, me
thousand
too.
tabs
Me
open,
too. Me
and I
too.
just
Please.
like
I
click click
prefer
click click
that.
click click
Let's
click.
go over here. We can
So
go
it's like,
wherever.
so let's just recap. So you are from a traditional background. You have done your two pivots in
So
your career.
I have done two pivots. So first I was going into medicine. So I was psych pre-med in
Okay,
undergrad.
doctor.
I was going into medicine.
Yeah.
I don't know why I could have gotten into med school, but it would have been I would have had to do quite a bit because I was not a good student in college. I was very bored in school. Like I was good at science classes. I was good at math, but I would never show up for those classes. So it was tough. You know, you could cram for the test all you want, but the participation, you need to have that. So I took a year off, and the plan was to apply to medical school after. I started working at a cancer hospital, and I worked with doctors, and I was like, you guys look miserable. I don't actually want to do this. So for a long time, I was like, damn, what am I going to do? I had one degree, and it was in psych. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with that? And I kind of stumbled upon the career I'm at now. I was always interested in psychology. I was also interested in architecture. I took a couple of I went to an engineering high school. I took some architecture classes during that time. And so I was like, oh, what if there was engineering or psychology of architecture? Like I can design buildings based on how I want people to feel and go through the buildings. That job didn't exist. But what did exist was engineering psychology, which is human related to human factors, the people who design planes, cars, things like that, to make sure that
Like ergonomics?
it's ergonomics, human factors, ergonomics, all that kind of stuff. Exactly. So that was also related to UX. So I decided, okay, well, this will be what my grad school degree will be in. So I did a human factors degree, and everybody at the time was like, "That's a fake degree. That's not real. You about to spend mad money on nothing." And I was like, "Damn!" Like I was thinking about that today. I was like, I took a big risk with that because I didn't know anyone in tech at all. No.
But here's the thing.
Mhm.
People project, and
Yes.
we see this every
Mhm.
single day. People project onto their fears, their challenges, because they not like us.
Exactly.
They not like us.
And
And people, no one can step into your shoes. No one can step into my shoes. I look at my life, and I in retrospective, if I were to do it all over again, I don't think I had the balls,
Mhm.
ovaries, whatever. Let's try to
Yeah.
be inclusive of all the
Mhm.
organs.
Mhm.
I don't think I have it in me to leave my home. I was a princess in the
Mhm.
Caribbean. We
Mhm.
had a cleaning lady, which we treated like family, but we had a cleaning lady. I would just have one chore at home. Of course, I was living at home, right? Because you can't,
Yeah, of
as a
course.
Latino, you,
Yeah.
you can't move
Why are you
unless you
moving
get
after you're
married.
married? Exactly.
Why are you moving? You you want to build a brothel? Like, is that what you want to do?
Exactly. Sound crazy.
I feel like all Caribbeans can relate to this.
Exactly.
So looking back, I had my life. I was comfortable.
Mhm.
I had my job. I had my little money shmoney, and I was just like every weekend we would go to the beach. We would go to this place. Of course, I couldn't travel to Europe, or like I was making pesos, but
Mhm.
that's different, right? But then I decided to move to the States and just become it's just like
It's
hello,
crazy. It's
like
crazy. It is
if
scary.
I
And I
don't
think
if I don't do it, no one's gonna do it. And
exactly.
people might be hearing this and you're just like, oh, you were just spoiled. No,
No, but how
it's
old
not
were you how old
spoiled.
were you when you make that decision?
I when I made the decision, I was 19 because I got my green card.
Yeah.
However, I I psychoanalyze myself, and I think I've always been like beyond my years. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm an old soul because
Mhm.
I had a heart to heart to myself, and I'm like, if you don't understand math in Spanish, how the fuck are you gonna understand math in English?
Mhm.
So I'm like, let me finish my degree, my little
Yeah.
degree in engineering in Spanish, and
Okay,
then
that's
like, you know
smart.
what? And no debt. I graduated. I paid through my degree, so I was working full time while I was going to school. So I
Mhm.
pay it out of pocket while I
Mhm.
was working, and I was like, so I moved to the States, no debt, but I was broke as fuck. So
Yeah, of course.
I was like, okay, broke. But then I'm thinking like I was comfortable, but I wanted my life in America. I wanted to live my American dream.
Yeah.
And now if you ask me, do I have an American dream? No, I have a Caribbean dream. I
Yeah.
have a
Well,
Brazilian
see,
dream. I have an Asian dream. I
exactly. bro.
I
When
mean,
I tell
Thailand
you,
retired.
I actually can work at any place in the world, right? Think I can work for 2.5 months, and I'm just like, where do I want to go? I want to go to England,
Listen,
but that's too expensive. So I'm like, Thailand. I don't know. Anyway, what I
we're
was
gonna
gonna
go back
say,
because I can give you examples of any country that you want because I've been to 36 countries. Like if I haven't been there,
I've
I'm
been to
not
Thailand.
my.
I've been to these places, but it's just like I want to live there. You know, it's different. And I'm scared to live in Thailand because it's just so far away, you know? But anyway, what I was going to say to what you were saying in
Mhm.
terms of like, you don't think you would have the balls is I think like I am glad that my brain wasn't developed when I was making these decisions because they are scary. They're scary decisions. And I was just like, what the hell in my mind was that like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to graduate school. Like, I'm just gonna like just get up and freaking do this. What would make me do that? Because now I'd be like, well, I don't know, blah blah blah. Now I'm overthinking like an open mic. It's a fucking open mic, bro. What the heck? It's free. Like
It's not
crazy.
life or death. Like
It's not life
what's
or
it there
death.
to lose? What's
What
it
is
there
there
to
to
lose?
lose?
Like you're not spending money. You're just spending time.
I'm spending time. But you know what? Actually, let me give myself grace because it's not to say that I was completely fearless at that age. I think I was fearful, but those I didn't know that I was fearful. I was like delusional. Like I've always been
The
interested in
Lulu,
comedy.
the
Exactly.
Lulu.
I was always interested in comedy. Like I took an improv class in 2016, but I would have never pursued comedy like seriously because I would have been like, that's corny, that's cringe. Like, ew, who tried? Like, that's kind of lame, stupid. Like, and that's because I was probably fearful that I would look stupid, I would fail, and blah 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 blah. Now I'm just like, fuck it. Like, the only way I fail is if I don't do it.
People say, if I knew then what I know now, would you do it all over again?
um I've thought about this a lot. I mean, I'm gonna have to say yes because I it's hard for me to make that decision without knowing. Because I think my life could have gone a couple ways. One, like you said before, you were like, "Oh, I wanted what was gonna give me the most money." If I was thinking about what was giving me the most money, I wouldn't have gone to the college I went to. I went to a small liberal arts school because there was something their medical school acceptance rate was twice the national average. So I was like, I'm gonna just go there. I'm gonna just go to medical school. I'll just do that. But they're a small school, so yeah, they have like a network. They smart people go there, but like a big school that's also like hard to get into is gonna give me a lot more access to a lot more opportunities. Like one of my cousins, she's going to Howard, right? And I'm like, I wouldn't have gone to Howard, but the Howard network,
It's
that's a brolic network.
so it's funny that you mentioned network because I never saw it like that because no one
Mhm.
taught me. No one
No one
taught me.
taught me. No one
No
taught
one
me
taught
either.
me. No one taught me. It was just like
Hmm.
go to school, get a
It's
job.
like go to
How do
school,
you
get good grades. I'm like, I should. Who gives a fuck about good grades? I should have been meeting First of all, I should have been married. Hello, let's talk about that. Should have scooped my husband. Scooped my husband. Whatever.
been
Fact.
married with a chauffeur with I just
Fact.
want to be a trophy wife.
I'm
Like
like,
those
let me
sounds
tell.
like
I keep telling my friends, I'm like, if y'all ever see me go back to school, it will be for an MBA, and it's gonna be at some Ivy League, and just know I'm not there for school. Okay, not there for school. I have a mission.
uh 100% support. I am
Mhm.
all about that decision. And
Mhm.
here's the thing, right? Being the first, and I'm guessing you were also the first of your family, right? And if
I to go to
you were
not to go to college. My mom has both my parents have degree. My mom has an associate's. My dad has a master's degree.
but you were the first to take that path.
I was the first to take this path. Most people who have most of my family like around my age, they're like doctors or like those kind of established careers. No one ever heard of a freaking UX researcher.
So my family comes from doctors. So my dad's part of the family. I was the first to get a college degree on my dad's side. I was not the first on my mom's side. They're all doctors,
Yeah.
surgeons, OBGYNs. My mom is a
Hmm.
PCP, like a primary
Hmm.
care doctor. So everyone thought, oh, she's going to do medicine. And I really thought
Yep.
until my last year of high school. And I'm like, you know what? I don't like people that much.
Yeah.
I could just somebody if they
Don't
treat
piss me
me
off.
wrong,
Do
if
not piss
they
me off.
do not try
Mhm.
me because I would
Mhm.
just give you the wrong.
Facts. And it's
Let me
not a.
just say
I'm.
let me
I
just
don't know what the. I don't know what the laws in DR are like. I don't know if y'all got the same kind of malpractice laws, but uh,
now it's getting there. But before
okay.
10 years ago, come on now.
Before, don't
Come
piss
on
me
now.
off.
So, to say all of this, I was the first.
Mm.
And I was the first to not the first to move to the States because that was my grandma who made the path for all of us to come here. So she brought my dad, my aunts, and then all my whole family. So like my
Mhm.
whole family owes my grandma from my dad's side. So I got my green card around 18, 19, and I was in like my second year of college, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go to the States because I have to take what you call it, SATs,
Mhm.
GMAT, whatever it is, all of that
CREs.
that I haven't studied for. And I'm like, let me just finish my degree here. Also debt free because what I
Yep.
saw in my family, all my cousins would go to college and they would not finish because they were working, and they just
Mhm.
said like, well, I want money now. I don't want to go to
Mhm.
school, which
Yep.
could have been me or could have been not. But I was just like, you know what? Let me do it in Spanish. That's what I know. And let me do it where I know. And I
Yeah.
already have a circle and network. Again, network in DR. How did that translate to the States? It did not.
Mhm.
It did not.
No, networking
Because
is. Yeah.
even the way that you interview from country to country is just different. The
Mhm.
way you interview in the States is not the way you interview in the islands, is not the way
Nope.
you interview in the Caribbean,
I
is
would
not the
hate
way
to
you
have a
interview
job in the Caribbean, to be
in
honest.
what happened?
I would hate to interview in the Caribbean. I would hate. I would be like, y'all pissing me off.
No, because like in the Caribbean is who do you know?
I know. And also, I mean, I don't know. For St. Kitts, at least, I'm just like, just how formal they are with everything. I'm just like, please stop. You're annoying me. Thank you.
So not only that is who do you know, and I feel like in the States is also who do you know, because like who do you know can open doors. And like you were mentioning network. And to me, came here to the States, first of all, I didn't know how much I should ask right off of the bat. Like, oh, I'm a fresh grad of college, I'm an engineer. How much should I ask for like my salary? Guess how much I made on my first salary?
What year is this?
2012.
I wouldn't know. I have no idea how much engineers were supposed to be making at that time. I'm because you said guess, I'm gonna guess low, so I'm gonna guess 60.
I wish. 47.
Wait, so okay, so you know what? That was just a broke time. They was just paying everybody trash. Cause I thought I
So
was like, damn, my salary is so when I graduated, I was also making I think I was making 40. And I wasn't an engineer. I was just a coordinator, like an admin job. 47 as an engineer.
listen, I had
Justice
the
for y'all.
opportunity. Listen, thank God for growth because when I found out that people from Georgia, it's like this is in Atlanta, by the way,
Yeah.
so the South,
Yes.
cheaper,
I wanted to go to Georgia
cheaper
Tech.
cost, but still, like it's cheap because I was broke. I
Yeah.
I was making it was a lower cost of living, but I was still
Yeah.
broke, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not making money. Like, how do people survive? Because they were paying me peanuts.
Yeah.
So when I found out that Georgia Tech grads made 65 from the get go, I was like,
Hmm.
hell no, I'm
Yep.
out.
Hmm.
Bye. So it took me a year to find another job that paid me
Hmm.
75. And now
Okay.
starting to make 75 in Atlanta, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I got a little
Okay, got a little
money.
cash. Hmm.
A little cash. And then I work at that place and I worked there for 3 years. And then I was trying to like move to New Jersey because I was done with the South. I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? I want to be close to family. I want to live my New York life in New Jersey. And I'm like, I quit and then I moved to New Jersey and I got a job a month after, but nobody wanted to hire me from the South to the North
Yeah. Of
because they don't
course.
want to pay for relocation. They don't want to
Yeah.
pay for, and the salary bump from the South to the North was like 30,000.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
And it's
Of
just like
course.
finally making some money.
Yep.
And it's just like, no one told me, like, hey, you should job hop. hey, you should negotiate. I am so embarrassed, but thank God for growth that the last toxic job that I was the first job that I ever negotiated. So I never negotiated a salary up until the 20s,
2020s, got
2020s.
it. Yeah.
Because every job that I got, it was like, here's the salary and this is the final offer. Like I was so scared, like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
they're gonna take it away. They're gonna rescind the offer. And I'm like, oh, I can negotiate? No one told me.
Yeah. I think like I did negotiate this current one, but I didn't actually need to. I think both of my jobs in tech, my bosses really advocated for me. So like I remember when I was first my first tech job after grad school, and my bar was low cuz like I said I was making like, I think when I left my job at the hospital I was probably making like 46 maybe, 47, I don't know. So I had an internship the next year at like some random startup, and my salary, if like let's say it was a whole year, would have been $75,000, right? And I'm just like, for an internship is crazy because like what the heck. So my bar was so low, I was like, okay, like if I get paid like 90,000, like I'm good. And then my salary was like 30,000 more than that, so I'm like, never mind, I don't need it like I'm not gonna be greedy, not gonna be greedy. But I probably could have been greedy, honestly.
Yeah,
I could have
I
been greedy.
honestly like feel like if I would have, knowing that people can negotiate and
Yeah.
listen, when you got nothing to lose, when you're
Yeah,
not
but that's the
desperate, when
thing.
you're in a position that you are like, hey, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
looking around, like I have nothing to
Exactly.
lose. I have my job that is paying. So
Yep.
like what do I win for entertaining this
Exactly.
offer? What do
You
I
need
make
to
out of it?
convince me to leave, by the way. Yeah.
Interviewing is a two-way street, and as much as they interview you, you also need to know your worth at tax and know that you can also interview them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's something.
Agreed.
And I wish, I wish I would have known it before. I wish I would have known that the beginning of my career, but guess what, now I know I'm not dead, so I could still make some money.
Exactly. Still a job hop.
So that was a great summary of our upbringing, of our introduction to corporate America. Right
Mm-hmm.
now we're both in corporate America. So you were mentioning that you are not feeling challenged in this role. However,
Mm-hmm.
however, you're remote. Money could be better, but it's good.
I cannot
And
complain.
you cannot come, I mean, we could always
We can always
strive
ask for
for
more.
more.
We can always strive
We
for
could
more,
always
but I think it's important to understand what is enough. And I still have more than enough.
So I think right now my job, and you know where I work.
Yeah.
So right now, while I'm not making the money that I wish I was making, because if it were for
Yeah.
me, I would be making $1 million. But right now,
Facts, exactly. I
pay
was just
me.
saying something. I'm like, when am I going to be able to like pay rent, like $30,000 a month in rent, and be like, that's a steal?
That's a, like, oh, high rise downtown. That's what I want.
Central Park North.
Sh-
I mean
Thank
South.
you.
Thank you.
Chauffeur. Like I don't have to stress for parking. They pick me up, they drop me off. I don't know where the car gets parked. I
Exactly.
don't
It doesn't
know. Just
matter.
when I
I could
call,
wear
it's there.
heels. I could wear heels to the outing because there's always going to be a driver. Like, there's just so many things. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm content. I can live like this, but at the end of the day, I'm tired of seeing rich people live my life that I'm supposed to be living. Okay.
Thank you. I like this meme said, I wish I could afford the life that I really think that I
I
am
know.
living, that I
Hmm.
know that I'm living. So
Hmm.
I really wish my paycheck would catch up with the lifestyle
To me.
that, hello.
Hmm. Agreed.
I feel like this would be if we were making the same salary in Thailand.
But you see, this is why I'm like, I'm deathly afraid to just go to Thailand for 2 months and be by myself. But the way that I would be living out there is crazy. Crazy to a point where I'm like, I don't know if I would be able to come back because I think I'd
This is
be clinically depressed. Because you can't just
It's
like
coming
go.
to
I'm like, oh, look at me. I have my own high rise condo with a private pool and a balcony, and I'm gonna come back to this shithole.
So fun a side note that you are probably more than aware. I took my niece to Curl Fest, right? So
Mhm.
it was her first time like going with me to New York. So I was like showing her around. She was scared to take the train, so she will hold my hand because she was scared to be left behind.
How old is she?
12. So but she looks like 16 or 18, right? Because we just
Okay.
grow up so fast.
Mhm.
So long story short, we're taking the train and we're headed to a night market, and I read the directions wrong. So I went to Grand Concourse Uptown. Not so the
Where were you
night
supposed to be?
the it was supposed to
Florida?
be on 161 and like
Yankee
near
Stadium.
Yankee Stadium, and I went all the way to 191, 200. I don't know. It was like Grand Concourse, like
Grand Concourse
up
is
there.
one. Grand Concourse is 144. Well, the stop Grand Concourse is 149. But like, if you went past, I don't know where you were on the concourse. I just don't know where.
So King something Berkeley or
Kingsbridge. Kingsbridge.
Kingsbridge. Yeah, yeah. So up there, right? So I'm way up there. So I'm looking around and I'm like, this is sketchy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, grab your purse. I'm grabbing my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? So I'm smelling, it smells like New York. And then I'm leaving the subway and I'm like, smells like, and I'm like, oh, geez, smells like.
Mm-hmm.
So, girl, in a corner at the entry of the subway. So, there's stairs and there's a platform in the stairs. So, like, before the stairs to go away, there was a little platform. So, in this, like, corner, this guy was taking a.
Damn. I hate that that was the Bronx. Happens everywhere though.
So, my niece got to experience that. And I'm like,
Oh,
the guy,
good for her.
I guess I popped her bubble. And the guy
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like,
Oh, that's
mofo.
nice. That's polite of him. You know what? That's polite of him because he didn't have to say that. I
You
like
know
us.
the
You see,
doodle?
from
You
the
know the
Bronx,
doodle?
but
It
guess
was
what?
on the floor.
But you
I was
see,
just
at least
like,
the people in the Bronx, we have manners because I've seen a man taking a shit at 59th Street, Lexington Avenue. He did not apologize. Okay.
oh my god.
So,
Anyways, I was just like, listen, you gotta love New York because where in the world would you put up with this shit?
nowhere.
No, not in Miami. You wouldn't put up with this in Miami. You wouldn't
Mm-mm.
put up with this in Texas.
Maybe in
Shoot.
San Francisco, I can
Shoot.
see that happening.
So, how do we face the fact that we went into these traditional careers, they're paying the bills. Thank you God for employment, right? Thank God for employment. But we want to do something out of the norm, to do something which is not rocket science, is not that foreign, but it is when we explain to our families, it sounds crazy.
Well,
Is
I
that
don't explain that to my family. I actually don't talk about the fact that I want to be a comedian with most people because, like, I don't know. I'm still actually trying to explore what being a comedian means to me. Because you could do that in a lot of ways. You could be a content creator. You can be a writer. You can do
you could be all
stand
right?
up. I think stand up to me is like one of the more challenging things that you could do. I don't know if I want to do that. I also don't want to just be in like shitty clubs at like 12 o'clock. Like it just seems like it's actually a really tough career path. I don't know why anyone would choose that to be quite honest with you. But shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
But I think even when I talk about it, I think because we do have the luxury of having good jobs, people aren't like I don't get a lot of pushback because it's not right now. It's not like I'm like, oh well, guys, I'm gonna give up everything I have and just do stand up. Like that would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that we have the luxury of being able to explore these different career paths with stability. You know?
Absolutely. And that's one thing that both of us were unemployed at the same time. You didn't choose to, I chose to.
Mhm. I
I
got laid
said,
off, but I was like praying. I was looking back at videos, even when I was in St. Kitts that year, the year I met you.
Yes.
And I had like a close friend story, and I was like, damn, like I really hope. Let me not like. I do hope I get laid off, but let me not say that. Let me not say that. And then I got laid off, and I threatened to sue. It was just amazing.
Again,
Dreams do come true, guys.
do not be afraid to raise your voice. I would like to say, I hope no one finds this. I took action and I
Mhm,
stand up for myself at work. In my previous company,
mhm.
nothing came out of it. In
Damn.
this company that I'm currently at, that
Mhm.
people were like, "Are you sure you want to work there?" And I'm like, "Listen, I'll give it a try."
Yeah.
Someone disrespected me and I raised my
In this company?
voice. Mhm. Someone
Wow.
disrespected me. I raised my voice, put a complaint. Guess who's no longer working with the company? Expeditiously.
Wow.
Expeditiously.
Because you
And
know
I'm like,
what? Because they're smart. That's why I was like, my company, the one that last one, I was like, you guys are stupid because you guys have too many of these kind of complaints. You're not doing anything about them. And that's where you
mhm,
can get in trouble.
mhm.
Serious trouble. Serious trouble. So,
And the thing is, like, I wasn't gonna say anything because of my
mhm.
PTSD with the other company.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's gonna change? Nothing's gonna change
I
because
know.
I've already went through this path. I've already presented everything and nothing got changed. So
Mhm.
I am actually labeled as the angry black woman,
Of
as
course.
the black sheep,
Yeah.
because I am raising a concern. But guess
Mhm.
what? It's different. And I'm like, I'm not saying this is the best company in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying
Your experience.
this is the best team I've ever worked for.
Wow, I love that. And see, that's why even though sometimes I'm like scared to work at a company like that because I'm just like, damn, they're gonna work me like a slave. It really does depend on your team. Because you could
That
have a team
a-
that does absolutely try to work you like a slave.
absolutely.
And that's the team that I interviewed that I did one team matching conversation Meta, and I was like, absolutely not. Like they already saying all the wrong things. We're small, but we're small, but we're I forgot what
We're
they
like
were saying.
family. We're like family.
We're family. We're fast paced. You know, we're small but mighty. We're overachievers. I'm trying to get
We're
my team.
ambitious.
I'm trying to get my team to do better at work life balance. No.
So the first thing that I would ask when I'm being interviewed, how many weekends a month do you work?
Hmm. Wow, that's ooh. They would hate me if I asked that.
I
They
would
would hate me if
ask.
I asked
So
that.
I understand that
Yeah,
2 days are not the same, and I
yeah,
understand that the business is very challenging at
yeah.
times.
Hmm.
Hopefully, not all the time, but I
Hmm.
would like to know personally how many weekends out of the month you work. So
Hmm.
I got very mixed reviews. I got people that said I work Monday to Friday, and they can't get a hold of me on the weekends.
Exactly. Yep.
Then there was this lady who said, "Oh, I work every other weekend." And I'm like, not me though. And then the managers were like, "What is your expectation? Do you expect me to work weekends, or like what is the expectation?" They said, "We don't expect you to work weekends."
Hmm.
And actually, and again, I'm knocking on wood.
Hmm.
My manager said, "We do not want you traveling on a Sunday. If you're traveling on a Sunday, you need to come to us and we need to approve that because we don't
Yeah.
want you compromising your work-life balance."
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm glad that there are more managers. Hopefully that there are more managers who are like that as opposed to that whatever other era of being like, no, we just have to get it. No, we don't have to get it done because guess what? None of these companies, this is not are we in an emergency room right now? Like do we have
Are we curing a disease? Is our job going to save the world today?
yes,
Right this
right
moment?
this second?
This
No?
second? Are you preventing fatality or like
Are you responsible for whether or not nuclear bombs get dropped right now? No?
Thank you. Thank you.
Then call me on Monday. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And you know what? Having that support at work makes me want to go hard.
Exactly.
Makes me want to
Yeah.
like, hey, listen, like I know it's 7 o'clock, but I'm still working and I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. And
Because I
everyone
know
is
it's my choice and not
it's
somebody else.
it's my choice. And guess what?
Mhm.
Like I've only been there for a few months and people call me because I'm the expert now.
Mhm. Aw.
That never happened in my previous company because guess what? I would tune out and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting
Not
this.
fun. Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. It's not
Mhm.
clicking and I don't want it to click. Right
Yeah.
now, I make it an effort to understand an issue
Yeah.
I even ask questions after question, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm new, so I'm asking questions, and
Mm-hmm.
people don't care to answer me." And when I tell you, like, I'm like, "This is because this and this and this," and people are coming to me because I'm an expert, and I'm like, "What? Me? Not me?
Little me.
Who?" So
So cute.
this is the difference when company invest in you, and also
Mm-hmm.
when company take you seriously.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, hello, like, I'm not saying for everything that I do, good work,
Mm-hmm.
good job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, like, you don't have to. I get paid for that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I go above and beyond, it's nice to be noticed. It's
Of
just
course.
nice. It's just
Of
nice
course.
because I don't have
Mm-hmm.
to.
Exactly.
I could be doing the bare minimum and I would still get paid.
You absolutely sure the hell would. And
Exactly.
also, bare minimum looks different for everybody. Because sometimes
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm doing a bare minimum and I'm like, this is great. Like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm glad you like it. I'm going to continue doing that bare minimum. And then I'll increase it when it needs to be increased. But we'll see.
Are we trying to make it on our not hobbies, but like our chosen new careers? What would it look for you? What would it be successful? What success would look for you?
I think that's an interesting question because what I don't want to do, especially in something like as difficult and like it's actually really hard to be successful
Cutthroat. It's
at anything
cutthroat.
in anything in entertainment. It's literally like 1% of people rise to the top, right? So I want to be like, okay, yes, you can do it. You have to believe in yourself, but I also don't want to be like, oh, like success looks like you got it. You're in 5 years because there's some people who have been literally slaving away for 30 years. So what I'm trying to get used to is really genuinely loving the process. And right now I love the process because a lot of people in comedy, they really just they just do it because they really just love the game. I'm looking at it as like at this point I feel like it's like poetry, honestly. Like I see people that have been doing it for 20 years, they just go to comedy clubs, they write new sets. I'm like, these are poems. Like they're going and they're performing their poems. If you think about it that way, it's just like anybody that goes to the park and likes to do art or likes to play chess or whatever, whatever. It's just that my hobby might get me on a TV show or in a Disney movie, right? That's how I'm
Would you
seeing it.
would you consider to making a book, like writing a book?
I know a person who actually worked at Google and she was my boss's old boss. Her name is I forgot her name. I think it
It's
starts with
okay.
Sarah. But she used to make these videos on TikTok in 2020. She went really viral. She used to do these Trump impersonations, and she got like a Netflix deal. She wrote a book. She wrote some books about how to talk like a man in the workplace, and they were actually really funny. They're really funny books. So I think I would consider like a comedy book like that. But I really do like feel like the way to get successful, the easiest way to get successful is through TikTok. It's just through TikTok. Like, and damn, they about to take away that app, but that's fine because there was a time where TikTok didn't exist, and there's gonna be another app.
So here's the thing, right? I know TikTok is the buzzword, but I wouldn't make an example of Jeannie. You know who Jeannie is? Jeannie is a Korean lady who was an air
Young Jeezy's
steward.
wife.
Huh?
Young Jeezy's wife.
No,
Okay.
she's a Korean lady who she does skits with like Korean mom, and like she used to be an air steward and she used to do skits like an air steward. So she was viral on TikTok.
Okay.
Oh my God, what's her
I'm sure
name
I've seen
on?
her. I'm sure I've seen her. There's a lot of
And
people that used to go mad viral, and now they're doing whatever they're doing.
but here's the thing, she did TikTok, right? When she switched over to YouTube, she
Mhm.
became millionaire.
Oh, of course. That's exactly. So that's what, sorry. I know that like TikTok, to me, TikTok is like the key. It's not necessarily like, oh, I stay on TikTok. It's like once you amass a certain amount of, once you really find your niche and you find something that you're willing to, you say, I could do this over and over and over again, straight to YouTube, straight to wherever the heck. There's this guy that I follow. His name is Joshua Neal, and he used to make videos on TikTok too. And he was like an actor. He wanted to be a director, and now I think he's like in a movie finally. But I'm just like, it's just so crazy like the doors an app like that can open for you. So right now I'm just in making mode. Like I just need to
Yeah.
create mad stuff. And a lot of people think, oh, she hasn't been posting, I haven't been doing nothing. I've been writing mad scripts.
Well, do not look at my broken screen. Jeannie Weenie. You've seen her.
She
You
doesn't
never
look
seen her?
familiar. She does not look familiar. My Tia, my For You page is full of unhinged people, to be honest.
So
So
on it on Bluetooth. Oh my goodness. On YouTube, she has 10 million followers.
it's just I just would love to be on YouTube yapping. The problem is, I thought about that. I was like, one of my goals for this year was to make a YouTube channel, start posting on YouTube.
Okay, so let's make it
I can
today.
still do
Let's
that.
go. Let's go. Let's go.
I actually do have. I did make a YouTube channel. I already made that. The problem is posting videos, and the thing that I even struggle with in comedy is that I like to talk, and I actually really do have thoughts about things. So it can veer from joke to like now I'm about to get into a philosophical rant. Okay, nobody wants to fucking hear that.
Who said that? Who said that? Because like here's the thing, right? And I don't want to get political or anything like that, right? Because like and I don't know your perception. Like Amanda Seals is funny, but
Mhm.
she also gets political. So she
She
might
is
be saying
political.
she is political.
She
Yes.
is
I mean,
political. The thing about Amanda Seals is a great example because I actually do feel like Amanda Seals does herself a disservice a little bit by there's certain opinions that I feel like because we are on the internet, like we learn to just share everything with everyone. And I'm not saying things like, oh, don't stand up for like what you believe is right. But I feel like certain things that she's feeling in the moment, maybe those are for your friends. And maybe there's a not for your amount of followers that are going to hammer you to death. Like people are really roasting her and calling her insufferable and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, I know I need to be careful too because I've been lucky enough to not been I haven't been really bullied. I mean, there have been people that said mean things about like the things that I've posted and stuff like that because they're hurt. You know, you make fun of broke men and stuff like that. Like they don't really like that.
let them be
They don't
heard.
they don't really like that. Exactly. But that kind of like I only have 15,000 followers. That's very different from having
Only.
that's very different from having 100,000 followers, a million followers, where people are constantly and people think that they know you. People don't think that they know me. They see my videos every so often. Kiki kiki. They're not. We haven't built a relationship. So when people start building a relationship with you, they really feel like they can talk to you all type of way, and that's what I don't like about the internet. Which is why I'm like, I would much rather be a no name writer that no one knows what I do, why I have money. It's just in real life I have money because the internet can be a really scary place.
Yeah,
Like
it's I one of the things like this is new to me, like sit down conversations. Like I've always thought that I had to have a certain look to be able to do this, that I had to have a certain, like hair up to my ass, like blonde, blue eyes to be able to appeal to an audience. But the way and I know you can take back time. I would say that yes, you need to be mindful with what you share. Not everyone on the internet has your best. Even if you share it like to build community, like not everyone has your best wishes, and people are envious. People are jealous and envious.
mean too.
I online, I never share my last name.
Yeah, don't yeah, take that out.
Never share my last name. I never say where I work. I can share where I used to work, but like
Yeah.
people
Me
are
neither.
mean. People
Me
are
neither.
mean. And I can just imagine people sending my manager like one of my Soca videos, like me
Yeah.
whining on my carnival costume. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not ashamed. That's my culture. Well,
Facts.
that's part of Caribbean culture, right? And like, I don't have to be ashamed of anything, but like, they will always give you a reason, like, oh, is this your employee? That's what she stands for, or what? I don't know. You
No,
name it.
exactly. And then it's like the company has to. It's just you're not gonna find. It's. Can you imagine me? You have just whining videos. I have all types of videos. Okay, that's I would never want certain people to see. But yeah, you do. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, and not that
Um.
I'm embarrassed or anything because again, like you said, even though I don't have a big following, when I went back to St. Kitts the second time, the third time, so I went back for first
Music
for
Fest.
Carnival, then for Music Fest, and I went back to a second time for a Carnival, so third time total. When I was on the road, people were like, "Are you Jenny?" And I'm like, "Yeah, hello, hi," and they're like, I came to St. Kitts because of you. And I'm like, who? Me? Little me?
They need to
And
pay
I'm
for
like,
your ass.
and who? Who's going to pay me? They will know this year when I don't show up because I might not have 100,000 followers. I might not have the million followers that I wish I had. But guess what? My following Like they know what to expect from me, and they know that I will get the behind the scenes, how to get to places. Like they know what to expect out of like the places that I go, the festivals, the carnival. I don't gatekeep. So
Mhm.
like if I can do it, you can do it. And this is not sharing like the secret recipe to anything. It's just like it's a big decision to come to an island like St. Kitts by yourself. I did that 3 times.
Crazy.
That is
Shit, I wouldn't even do
crazy.
that. I'm like, I'm bored as hell. What the heck?
Having people, and it wasn't just one person, it was like three, four different people. Like, because of your content last year, I came this year. And I was like, what? Of course, my numbers don't show it, but guess what? Don't worry, it will show sometime. We talk about corporate life, we talk about like pursuing careers that are not the traditional path. We also touch base a little bit. If we were to do it all over again, would we do the same thing? And we said yes, because we learned some lessons along the way. I, for one thing, for once, wouldn't, if I had decided to go just start from the get go, like I wouldn't have appreciated what I have now if I didn't go through all my trials and tribulations, if you want to call it like that. I would not be appreciating what I have right now. And even though people think like people don't know your story, people don't know where you're coming from, people like to assume, like people don't know that I was by myself for 6 years. Like my closest family was like an hour and a half away. So when I got sick, girl, I was with the fever going to work because I was afraid to get fired. Listen, listen. But anyways,
It's tough.
well, do you want to leave us with some gems? Do you want to share like what would help you keep track of your goals, even though it sounds cliche, or like what would what is helping you? So you mentioned therapy. Is therapy helping you?
So, not no shade to my therapist. I love my therapist. I really like her. She actually reached I hadn't had therapy in a whole year.
Yeah,
And
I
that
need to find
year,
one.
she actually reached out to me because she like left the practice and she was like, we haven't heard from you. And I was like, oh my God, I miss you so much. Anyway, but I think she helped, definitely. But I also think what helps me personally is that I'm just a generally curious person. And for whatever reason, I just want to know stuff, which is a blessing and a curse, obviously.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I listened to this podcast called Hidden Brain. It's a psychology podcast. I really love that podcast.
I'm gonna put it in the
Um,
description below so you guys can check it out.
I really love that podcast. And I think that I've just learned a lot about like how to cope with things and like how to be a lot of the things that I think the biggest lesson that I've learned in the last year is that one, I literally can do anything if I just do it. Like is so simple. Like it doesn't seem simple. It's like, oh, I used to call myself, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so lazy. I'm like, I'm this. Like I could never be the type of person who like goes to the gym. Like, what if you were? Just how about you just try to do that? And now I'm the type of person who needs to work out. I made up a new rule literally 2 weeks ago. I was like, all right, no more than 5 dishes in the sink at any given time. And at this point, I'm like, oh shit, okay, it's easy. It's getting easy now. So it's like you can be the person who like has the time for comedy and the time for work. You can be the person who has the time to work out. You can be the person that like doesn't eat bullshit. You can be that. Just be it.
Hmm.
So I feel like once you really start doing that and you build that trust with yourself, that's when you start being like, shit, like I really could do this comedy thing, like for real, for real. So
Also feel like sometimes we're looking validation outside where
yeah,
have to look into inward.
absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
it sounds silly, and I don't remember where I heard it. Maybe it was a podcast, maybe it was a therapist. Like you need to nurture your inner child. You sometimes need to hold yourself and just like
Absolutely. I talk
just
to myself.
me,
I
myself,
literally
and
be like,
I. It's
I'd be
a
like,
three.
yo,
It's a three-way conversation. Me, myself, and I.
exactly. I
It's
be
three
in this
people
house
talking.
I be in the mirror like, yo, so what are we doing? Like, why are you
So,
upset? Like,
what's the
like
plan? What's the plan for today? Like, are we sleeping in? Like, what are we doing today? Like, what are we feeling like? Are we cooking? Are we ordering? I also like, I have like executive meetings with myself. Like, hey, so like holidays coming around. Like, what's the budget? Like, are we going somewhere?
me and myself, we really haven't gotten into the financial conversations yet.
Oh,
That's something
Ooh.
that we're kind of more like winging now. We're still good. We're good, but we could be a lot better. I'll say that.
So actually, I'm very proud of me, myself, and I because we are starting to invest aggressively.
Okay.
I was talking like I have a
Invest in like what? Like what do you mean? Like RRA investments or like kind of
n-
brokerage? Like what?
who's who's investing in property? Like, come on
I
now,
said
that's a bubble.
IRA. I said IRA. That's a retirement account.
Yes, 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 yes. So it's different. I'm sorry. It's I'm translating. Okay.
No
Mm.
worries. No worries.
Okay. I can entendí. So I am starting to take more of aggressive approach because when I took my sabbatical, I had savings, which were in a high yield savings account, and I didn't put that money to work. Yes, I want to have that money accessible in case of emergency, but just talking to other friends, like one of my friends, he's in accounting, and I was just like, I just need a emergency fund, and he was like, go to a credit union. If you have an emergency, they will give you a loan at a 3%, a personal loan at a 3%. And I'm like, but I need money. Like I
Yeah.
need my. This is
Yeah.
like it's like he popped that bubble. He popped that belief that I need to
Yes.
have.
This, yes. I think that's, I had a meeting with a financial advisor because I just have too much money in my high yield savings account right now. And so
And
I'm
it's
like,
not
okay,
good. You're
it's not
missing
good.
out. You're missing out. And again, I'm not saying go into crypto, go into like what I am a very hands off
Oh
investor.
no, like said it, I'll just put it in ETFs or something. I don't know. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like I am a
exactly.
very hands-off investor. I will not read the news every day. I
No.
made one bad example of investing. Like I invested in Peloton. Have you seen Peloton stocks?
No, but also I started investing in 2020, and in 2020, I was like, I'm gonna be rich. Like this is crazy. I was like,
We
the
started at
way
the same time. We started at the same
way
time.
I'm going to be the richest person in the United States. Right? And the way 2020 like my investments went from this to just it was
So
crazy. It was
so
crazy. It was crazy.
actually, my investments, my 401k, right? We're talking about retirement. I am putting right now in a brokerage account. I'm putting my high yield savings account. Of course, I still have cash, but I'm not leaving all the cash
All of that
doing
cash.
nothing.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I'm putting that cash to work. And what any investment that you do is a risk, right? So I'm
Right.
putting it on ETF, something that is hand off that I know that, hey, it's not going to make a 100% return, but it's going to be working more than that 4% in that high yield savings account. When in 2020, I had it like in a target retirement fund of Fidelity or Vanguard. I don't know which one was it for like 2060. And
Mm,
I'm like, you know what? I'm going to learn this and I'm going to invest. When I tell you that I like my
yeah.
investments
Yep.
from my initial investment
Yep.
just because I put in an ETF that made all the work. And this
Absolutely.
is not a get rich scheme because when
No,
the
no, no.
market crashed, it crashed.
It can take it away.
And when the
Exactly.
market went up, it went up. And what is it?
Exactly.
It's time in the market. It's
Exactly.
time in the
Exactly.
market. So,
Exactly.
and that money of my 401k is for me when I'm 65, when I'm
Mm-hmm.
59 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
That Roth, I'm going to use that Roth. Like, whoop,
Absolutely. Yep.
whoop. So
Yep.
like now I want my brokerage to work for me as well. So that's like,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played around with options. I'm scared of options, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know because like I remember I have people that are like, oh, like you should be training, you should have options. I think it's like you have to know who you are too, right? And I'm like, I know that I'm not about to be sitting at a computer looking at charts. I'm just not about to do it. So the best thing that I can do for myself is diversify my portfolio and let it the fuck go, and then just assume that I'm not going to be touching this money because I'm not touching the money. So
It's not. It's not.
I'm
It's
not. I
money
don't own a
that's just
house.
sitting there.
I don't plan on owning a house right now. Like I don't see
Where?
why I
In
should.
downtown?
And
Downtown?
that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Central
I don't
Park?
need. Don't need to
Where?
do it.
Where?
Don't need to do it. I'm
Maybe Albany.
single.
Maybe you
There's
can
no
buy something in
reason,
Albany.
and I don't fucking want to live there. There's just no reason. So I think right now it's just a matter of like maxing out my 401k, maxing out IRA contributions, investing the rest in my brokerage account, and that's it. Like whatever else we spend it, I guess. I don't know. Even
I mean,
that's another thing. That's why I'm like, even though I don't talk to myself about like I don't budget and stuff. I try to be cheap in places where I'm willing to be cheap. So like
Yeah,
one of the places, for example, living in an older apartment so that my rent is not $3,000,
yeah,
35, $4,000. I'm like, no, 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 no. Because one thing I don't want to have to worry about is rent. So my apartment's fine. I don't want to be here that much anyway. I'm traveling. I'm going fucking wherever.
exactly.
Like,
I had to take a decision, and it's crazy that we live in a place that we have to decide: do you want rats or roaches in your apartment? No, it's not funny. It's
stop,
not because it's
stop,
not.
stop. They're
Stop,
gonna hear
stop.
you. I live in an old building. Stop. They're going to hear you. I'm scared. I don't
Stuart
want any
Little
visitors. I do not want any roommates.
is touring apartments, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the pest control, like the landlord is not the best." And I'm like, "What do you mean?
Why would you
What?
tell me that?
What would
Well,
you?"
thank you for telling me, I guess.
Thank you, thank you. And I'm like, okay, I had to make a decision, and I'm like, okay, a studio would do. Like,
A
it's
studio's exactly. A studio's gonna have to do like you have to just decide. Luckily, I'm happy where I'm at. Like I want to knock on wood because the universe has a tendency to being like, I did see a spider today, but I'm gonna leave the spider alone. I left the spider alone because I'm like, you know what? Spiders eat bugs that I don't want to see.
yeah,
So you spider, you can stay. But yeah, you do have to make those trade-offs. So it's like, okay, I
absolutely,
know
absolutely.
I'm gonna take the train a little bit more, even though that I don't know.
Well,
Eat
I'm
out a
glad
little
my
bit less.
I'm glad my work pays for the train, and I could just like go to the city for free.
Yeah, that's nice. But even me, it's not even laziness. At a point last year, I had to tell myself, I was like, you have to stop taking Ubers because they're taking longer than the train. I
It's
live I live 10 to 15 minutes from Midtown Manhattan. There's no reason for me to be getting in an Uber to go to Manhattan. That's crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
spending $60 just to cross the river. Like, why would you do that?
So
Why?
dumb. It's not 60. I'm like, oh, it's only 20. It's only 27. It could have been
Well,
$2.
so 50 round trip. So
Yeah.
50 round trips. Okay,
When you
got
say
it.
it like that, it does sound
Mm,
bad. But see,
so
those are the conversations that I will continue to have with myself and be
exactly,
better.
because like, listen, we're still get
We're
thank God
still
for health.
learning.
We're still learning. We never stop learning. And guess what? Good thing that we can learn from it's not mistakes. It's just lessons
It's
learned.
just lesson. It's just lessons learned.
It's
It's
just
just lessons.
lesson.
If I could have known this, and I feel like we're doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. We're investing. We're not spending all our money. I don't spend all my money. There's
Mm-mm.
stuff there. Okay, so
Exactly. I don't know if we
um,
can afford to own anything. Not in New York, not in Jersey. I
I could
saw in
afford to own
Texas.
stuff if I could afford to own something. I would have no cash. Like I would, and I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a house and then feel like nothing.
House
I
poor.
better hope nothing can go wrong because I'm like things go wrong when you have a house. I don't want
So
those problems.
whoever got a house, that is a
Yeah,
major accomplishment. I would
yeah,
not take away from that because all the sacrifices
of
that you
course.
had to do because of it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? I want to go out.
I want when something is broken here, I say that's on y'all. Y'all better fix it before I sue
Not
y'all.
me, not me.
You
Like,
guys better fix that.
I was like, my air conditioner says
Mhm.
check filter, and I'm like, who's gonna check it? Not me,
Right. Not me.
not
It's
me.
not my
Order,
business.
submit order, submit
Exactly. And I'm
order.
like, it's all about your lifestyle. I had a friend who was like, oh, buy in Jersey. Like you can get a townhouse, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you can get a townhouse because you're willing to gut it, spend this money on this, spend this money. I'm not doing any of that. The house that I
No,
want is a turnkey house, and that's gonna cost at least $2 million. Okay. I don't
thank
have
you,
that money
thank
right
you,
now.
thank
So
you.
I'm gonna wait.
It was so nice talking to you. Next conversation should be about carnival.
Okay, we could do that.
We could do that
Mm,
too.
Bye.